So today I am not sharing with you the video I thought I was going to be making today because our water heater decided that it was done working. Started leaking all over our basement floor, so we have to replace it. So for all intents and purposes, we are not going to be showing you how to put in a new water tank, but we are going to be showing you step by step what we are doing to replace it. But by all means, if you don't feel comfortable doing something like this, of course, always call a plumber. A great way to recycle your pumpkins after the holidays is to smash them open so the wildlife can eat them. We prefer to play Fruit Ninja with them.
This is what to look for when your water heater starts to leak. First thing you want to do is locate the main shutoff valve for the tank. Ours is right here. Shut it off and they'll shut the water off supplying the tank. I shut the gas off. So this pipe here where the valve is, the cold supply line feeding the tank, and then the hot side comes out this other side and feeds the hot water to the rest of the house. If the leak is coming from the actual tank, that means the inside of the tank has rusted out. At that point, you need a new tank. If it's leaking from a connection, there might be a chance you could save it. Or if it's leaking from the pipe here, the temperature and pressure relief valve, that means the temperature and or the pressure are too high for the tank to handle, and the temperature needs to get turned down if it's not already, or you need to check your house pressure.
Okay, so basically going over what's happening is to drain the hot water tank, we have a hose going from there over to our grinder pump to relieve all of the water in here, and then we've got the gas line here since this is a natural gas water tank. We've got the cold supply line here, the hot line that goes from the tank out to the rest of the house, and then we have the vent right there.
With the hose draining, we have the kitchen faucet open on the hot side only. That'll allow air to flow into the line so there's no air gap.
What's an air gap?
Or not air gap, air
bubble?
Bubble.
What would happen if you didn't put it on?
Water wouldn't drain out all the way. Air would trap the water, kind of like a straw. When you cap it off, the water sits in the straw. And then I'm just disconnecting the gas line and reuse this on the new tank. Most standard water heaters are 1/2-inch gas line. You just want to make sure the valve is off before you disconnect anything. You might smell a little bit, but that's just what was in the line.
Kiwi, are you enjoying your time down here with us? You strangely like this dirty basement. And if someone didn't have a fancy tool like that, is there another way to cut that?
Yeah, there's hand cutters that go on there, do the same thing.
So you're just letting the water drain out now that was left over between the valve and where you cut?
Yep.
Into a nasty bucket.
Yeah, don't mention the bucket.
So now what we're doing, or what he is doing, is just taking some kind of something. Rope would be preferable to try and hold this vent up while he gets the old water tank out so it doesn't just kind of fall and potentially break. And this is just a temporary support.
Once I'm ready to take it out, I'll close the valve, disconnect the hose, take it outside. Probably take this valve off and completely drain it, because at the bottom of this, there's going to be a lot of sediment built up over the years just from minerals in the water and the tank rusting out.
Phew.
Yeah, and you can see really good.
So you're telling me all of our hot water touched that?
Yep.
That's disgusting. Get a new hot water tank. For anybody watching this, get a new hot water tank. That's nasty.
At least once a year, either first year, have a professional come out and show you how to drain and flush out your tank to prevent sediment buildup and allow your tank to work longer. And then after that first year them showing you, you could probably do it yourself.
Having fun, Kiwi? Yeah. And what you see happening here is he's taking two of his wrenches and turning the gas pipe to get the angle better to fit with this tank. But if you are going to turn something to get a different angle, make sure you're going in the direction of tightening it and not loosening it so you don't create a bigger problem for yourself with any kind of leaks. And this is not the final fitting, this is just a mock-up to make sure all the pieces fit together properly. Later, he'll go in and glue it all together, sealing everything up.
You gotta use some sort of pipe thread sealant. This helps seals threads. You just take a little bit. On gas lines, you don't need thread tape. You'll see I will use thread tape on the water connections. I get that hand tight and then I grab a pipe wrench because it grips pipe a little bit better than channel locks. You just crank it down.
How do you know that you've got it tight enough and there aren't any leaks?
One way that you can test for leaks, anything that bubbles, soap, there are leak detector stuff that you can just spray on the joints with the gas on, and if it's like consistently bubbles and creates more bubbles, that's a leak. If it's just a steady nothing, then you're all good. This is the thread tape I was talking about. It just helps seal on threads. And one thing you want to keep in mind is the direction that you will end.
Should be the way you're screwing it on.
Yeah, so that when you screw the fitting on, it doesn't unthread the tape. And you don't need a ton, maybe 3 or 4 passes around. Just to cover all the threads. And it's super easy to tear. So this is just what is known as a female adapter. Female threads go over these. Again, just hand tighten first and then crank it down till it's all the way down.
And if you're not comfortable soldering, I would not do that because that's super dangerous.
And by code of Ohio, at least, the first 18 inches of water line from the top of the tank have to be copper. And on these, it's nice because you can look down and see if the threads are all the way up to the top of the fitting. There's still threads visible.
And if you were to be soldering this, you would have to like use that cloth to like clean and everything, right?
You have to use cloth, kind of like sandpaper, to clean the copper a little bit so that it's a clean edge for the flux to go on, and then that mixed with the metal solder and heat pulls it all together. Just go into place, they'll go around this groove, and then you just press it. So now that we have this pressed, I can turn the water back on. I turn it on very slowly, just in case there is a leak or I forgot to press something.
And you're just gonna use that duct tape to secure around this connection here.
Yep.
Unnecessary, but an extra step if you want extra security. So now you're just screwing that thing back on?
Yep. Push that down, keep it held down, hit the sparker to ignite the gas. These ones are a little different than what I'm used to. Usually you hold it until it's established, and then you can turn it to on position, turn it to desired setting. Every tank comes as this section here with lighting instructions and all the safety mumbo jumbo.
And that is how we installed a hot water tank, and by we, I mean him. I had nothing to do with it. And so now we have a brand new hot water tank as opposed to that old disgusting beast that was probably older than I am. And that wasn't the video we were planning on filming today, but it was a very necessary one. And I'm glad that we now know we have a reliable brand new hot water tank. And again, I wanted to mention that if you are not comfortable doing this at all, please just contact a plumber, or sometimes HVAC people do that as well. We are not telling you how to do it, we just showed you how we did, just in case any of you DIY people are gonna do things regardless of whether you should or not. But again, thank you guys for hanging out with us today, and we will see you in the next video, which hopefully is building our dining room table. So have a great day, see you in the next one, bye.